Jensen. Adam Jensen never asked for this. Seriously, those are his first words after waking up with more cybernetics than a Terminator cosplay convention. He was a security chief. Regular guy. Got blown up in a lab attack. Should have died. But instead, he got upgraded. And not like got a better phone upgraded. Like, hey, we replaced 90% of your body with bleeding-edge military tech while you were unconscious. Hope that's cool upgraded. Welcome to the future, where free will is optional, and your new arm has a built-in katana launcher. Jensen wakes up with carbon fiber bones, dermal armor, and sunglasses that slide out of his skull like he's auditioning for the Matrix reboot. His arms? They have retractable blades. His eyes? Zoom, night vision X-ray. His torso? It launches grenades. His torso. You know how most people have abs? Adam Jensen has a multi-target explosive dispersal system. He can punch through walls. Cloak himself invisible. Hack a computer by thinking too hard. Basically, he's what happens when Robocop goes to a rave in a trench coat. But here's the thing, it's not just cool. The world of Deus Ex is a dystopian cyberpunk blender where biotech isn't just for soldiers. It's for CEOs, hackers, anyone with money. Body mods become the new class divide. Jensen didn't just get upgraded. He got turned into a walking ethical debate with shoulder blades. He's constantly caught between people who want to be machines and people who want to shut all down. And meanwhile, he's over here trying to solve conspiracies, uncover secret organizations, and not get hacked like someone's smart fridge. Adam Jensen is the face of a future where humanity's biggest question isn't what we can become. It's should we? But also, cool arm blades though. General Grivous. General Grivous is what happens when your body says no, but your rage says build me stronger. Once upon a time, he was a Kaleesh warrior. Flesh, blood, honor, cool mask. Then a ship explosion turned him into scrap meat. And Count Dooku, a guy whose entire vibe is, I listen to villain playlists at full volume, turned him into a cybernetic war machine. Not a little enhancement, not a prosthetic. They replaced everything except his eyes, some guts in a jar, and the cough of a lifelong smoker. Grivous is 90% robot, 10% pure spite. He's got 4 arms, not 2, 4, that all wield lightsabers. Lightsabers he stole from Jedi he killed. You know how normal people collect stamps or sneakers? Grivous collects corpses. But here's the thing, he's not the smooth, precision android like a Terminator. He's clunky, wheezing, rage-powered. A blender full of swords driven by hatred and bad posture. Every movement is twitchy. Every step sounds like a shopping cart full of knives. And that cough? That wasn't a bug, it's a feature. The last gasp of what's left of him inside all that armor. The tragedy? He chose this. Sort of. He wanted revenge. Power. To be more than mortal. And he got it. Now he's just a weapon that never stops glitching. In Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan Kenobi doesn't just defeat him. He exposes him, rips open his chest, and shows us that beneath the machine is just a frightened heart and a bunch of flammable parts. Grivous isn't a villain. He's a warning that you can upgrade everything, except your soul. Major Motoko Kusanagi, Ghost in the Shell. Major Motoko Kusanagi is the blueprint. Before cyborgs were trendy, before upload your brain to the cloud was a startup pitch, she was already there. Full body prosthesis. Synthetic everything. One organic brain floating in a vat of tech. The rest? Engineered. Designed. Perfected. She's not wearing a robot suit. She is the suit. Motoko's a government agent in a future where everyone's connected. Like Wi-Fi, but for your consciousness. She can disappear from sight, punch through steel, hack minds through a stair, and jump off skyscrapers like it's just a Monday. But here's the kicker. She's not just fighting terrorists or rogue AIs. She's fighting herself. Because when your whole body is synthetic, when your voice is digitized and your memories are stored like files, what even makes you you anymore? Motoko has a ghost, a consciousness, a soul, call it what you want, but it's trapped inside a shell she didn't ask for. She's haunted by questions the mirror can't answer. Is she a person? A program? Just another tool the government keeps rebooting? She walks through the city like a ghost, invisible to people who don't understand her. But she sees everything. The wires, the manipulation, the illusion of choice. She's not here to save the world. She's here to understand it. And maybe, if she's lucky, understand herself. Motoko isn't just Cyberpunk's most iconic figure. She is the ghost in the machine. And the scariest part? The machine doesn't seem to mind. The Borg, Star Trek. The Borg are not here to negotiate. They're not evil. They're not angry. They're just efficient. Imagine a galactic Wi-Fi network that installs itself in your brain. You don't join the Borg. You get assimilated. 1 minute you're sipping coffee on your starship. Next minute, you're part machine, part meat, fully owned by a collective that thinks free will is a design flaw. The Borg show up in cubes the size of cities. No windows. No flair. Just a flying box of doom filled with cybernetic nightmares who want you for parts. Their motto? Resistance is futile, and they mean it. Assimilation isn't surgery. It's conversion. They inject you with nanoprobes, rewrite your DNA, slap metal on your face, and download your mind into the hive. No painkillers. No warning. Just welcome to the network. Here's your eyeball laser and a lifetime subscription to collective thought. And here's the worst part. They think they're doing you a favor. To the Borg, individuality is chaos. They're upgrading you, making you better, more unified, more Borg. It's like if LinkedIn was run by H.R. Geiger. Their ships don't have captains. Their army doesn't sleep. And if you kill one, they adapt fast. Shoot a Borg drone once? Great. Try it again? That same weapon now tickles them. They've assimilated entire civilizations, including entire species. And when they added Captain Picard, even the best of humanity got swallowed into the machine. The Borg aren't just scary because they look like nightmare mannequins with USB ports in their necks. They're scary because, deep down, they're asking you a question. If you could be stronger, smarter, more connected, at the cost of everything that makes you you, would you? For the Borg, the answer is already yes. And they're downloading that answer into the galaxy, one drone at a time. Tetsuo Shima, Akira. Tetsuo Shima is what happens when puberty hits way too hard, and also gives you godlike psychic powers and a morphing flesh nightmare for a body. In Akira, Tetsuo starts as a regular punk with a motorcycle and a chip on his shoulder. He's always second best, always living in Kanita's shadow. Then one day, he gets hit by a government experiment. Boom. Now he's a walking nuke with telekinetic powers and an ego the size of Neo Tokyo. At first, it's awesome. He can crush tanks with his mind, explode helicopters, make government scientists scream like interns. But then his body starts to change. And not in a Spider-Man got bit by a bug kind of way. More like, what if every cell in your body had a nervous breakdown at the same time? His arm gets blown off. He grows a new one, out of wires, meat, and nightmare fuel. Then that arm grows, and keeps growing until it's a biomechanical blob that eats everything it touches. Tubes, flesh, circuits, screams. It's not evolution. It's body horror with a budget. By the end, Tetsuo isn't even a person. He's a constantly shifting mound of living metal and screaming tissue, a god drowning in his own power, too unstable to control it, too far gone to care. The worst part? He did this to himself. He wanted to be stronger. He wanted to stop being small. And he got it in the most disturbing way possible. Tetsuo's transformation isn't a glow-up. It's a meltdown. It's what happens when the human body says, "We're not built for this," and then breaks trying to keep up. He doesn't evolve. He overwrites himself. And in the end, there's nothing left but a god screaming inside a pile of flesh and steel, begging for someone, anyone, to end it. Tetsuo isn't just modified. He's consumed. The Engineers, Prometheus, Alien franchise. Imagine Michelangelo's David came to life, bench-pressed a spaceship, and then decided to invent biological death for fun. That's an engineer. 8 feet tall, skin like marble, 0 body fat, and the attitude of someone who thinks humanity was a failed science fair project. In Prometheus, we learn the big twist. Humans were created, not by God, not by nature, but by these hulking alien scientists who made us from their own DNA, by drinking goo that dissolves you into evolution soup. And then, they change their minds. They see us thriving, building, dreaming, and they go, nah, launch the death slugs. These guys didn't just bioengineer life. They engineered bioweapons. Black goo that turns people into monsters, worms into facehuggers, and wombs into chest-bursting horror shows. Their tech isn't tech, it's flesh. Their ships are made of bone and muscle. Their suits look grown, not built. Everything is organic. Everything is alive. And everything is designed to mutate you into something awful. The engineers didn't create life to nurture it. They did it to control it, test it, break it, like we're all just mice in their cosmic lab. And when they lost control of their bioweapons, they didn't warn us. They didn't come back to help. They just pointed the spaceship at Earth and prepped for the grand finale. Planet-wide extinction. They're not gods. They're disappointed parents with a PhD in genocide. The real horror of the engineers isn't what they created. It's what they could create. And worse, what they already did and then regretted. If humanity is the experiment, then the xenomorph? That's the correction. Robocop. Alex Murphy was a cop, a husband, a father, a decent man doing a dangerous job. Then Detroit happened. He gets ambushed, blown apart, executed point blank. And that should have been the end. But then a corporation saw an opportunity. Not to mourn, not to honor, but to profit. They took what was left of Murphy, a brain, a face, a spine, and stapled it to a titanium exoskeleton built for law enforcement and crowd control. Introducing Robocop. Part man, part machine. All corporate property. He's got auto-targeting, bulletproof plating, 24/7 surveillance, and directives hard-coded into his brain. He can shoot with sniper precision, record everything he sees, and can't legally disobey the people who own him. He's the ultimate cop, because he's no longer human enough to say no. On the surface, Robocop is a walking tank. But under the steel, Murphy's still in there, haunted by memories they tried to erase. Flickers of a life they told him he no longer had. A son he remembers. A name they told him to forget. And here's the kicker. OCP, the megacorp that made him, doesn't see a hero. They see a product. A prototype. A proof of concept for automated law and order with no unions, no complaints, no humanity. Robocop isn't just modified. He's monetized. He's what happens when capitalism gets its hands on resurrection and goes, let's add a gun arm. But he fights back. Piece by piece, memory by memory. He claws his way out of the programming. Finds his name again. Finds justice. Murphy may be mostly metal, but what's left of the man? That's the part that scares them. The Strogg, Quake franchise. The Strogg don't conquer. They don't negotiate. They harvest. They're an alien war machine. Not a species, not a culture. A literal factory of pain that turns organic beings into biomechanical soldiers in the most horrifying way possible. Piece by piece. While you're still alive, here's how it works. They invade your planet. They kill who they have to, and then they process the rest. Limbs are amputated. Brains are drilled. Spines are repurposed like spare parts on an assembly line from hell. And when they're done, you're no longer human. You're Stroggified. Not dead. Not alive. Just trapped. A conscious mind embedded inside a warbot shell, screaming under layers of metal and orders you can't resist. They don't upgrade you to make you better. They strip you down until all that's left is obedience. In Quake 2, your squad drops onto their planet. You get captured. You wake up on a conveyor belt, surrounded by hanging corpses, blood, saws, and mechanized arms waiting to install your new body. You watch your squad mates get disassembled like action figures. And just when it's your turn, you escape. Barely. But the scars stay. And the Strogg don't stop. They've done this to thousands of worlds. Earth is just another item on their to-do list. They're not evil. They're efficient. Your flesh is raw material. Your mind is optional. And your future is heavily augmented. The Strogg are what happens when industrial warfare stops needing soldiers and starts building them out of you.